Don't.
That's ridiculous.
Episode 152. This is attempt number 2. Sometimes you got to run it again. All right. KF.
And thank God we got a better linebacker on the podcast today so that it goes a little smoother.
Absolutely. KF would have said, no. Run it again. I can hear him right now. Kevin made us restart the podcast, obviously for a specific reason. So I can't talk about that reason. It's mainly just Kevin being an asshole. He's back. All right. He's back on the podcast from last week. Kevin's appearance on the podcast last week was essentially Drake and I just giving you his Texas-Oklahoma over pick, which was never in doubt, Kevin. Never in doubt.
Never even sweated it for a second.
You know, when it's 31-14 or 17 and it's a 72 point, you know, wherever you got it, 72 point line, and there's 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, you feel pretty good about it. You got to feel pretty good.
Oh, I mean, you're way ahead of schedule. Ahead of schedule.
Ellinger and the Longhorns, who are not back, by the way. Texas isn't back again.
Dude, they're not good. That was just not a good football game. Like, just bad, sloppy football.
No, it wasn't. But it was 31-17. There was 48 points scored. They had to score like 26 points to get to the line, and in 4 minutes, Texas ties it up, forces overtime. It goes 38-38 to cover, and then Oklahoma ends up winning. Oklahoma still can't tackle, and that's that. We'll get to some other lines some other bets that we gave out last week on the podcast. But first, we bring in a good friend. He just had his child on before we hit record. We didn't want to use the kid for content, so we shipped her off to mom. But Josey Jewell joins the podcast. Josey, welcome in.
Thanks for having me again, guys.
What do you do again?
I'm a banker.
You're a juice.
No,
bar?
dude, he sacks people on Monday Night Football. He sacks quarterbacks on fucking Monday Night Football.
Thursday Night Football.
Whatever night.
Josey, for those that have recently, this is actually, it's been a long time since you've been on the podcast. You were episode like 40 or 30 something.
Was that the end of last season or something like that?
Yeah, so it's been a long time. I think we have a lot of new listeners. Lots happened on the podcast and in Iowa football world since you've been on. So a lot of people have requested you. I always send them back to the old episode. But for those that want to listen to like Josey's backstory, that whole kind of thing, you guys can go back and listen to the other one. We're not going to go into the full story here, but mid-season, it's week 5 in the NFL. Josey Jewell should have been having a game today, right?
Should have been. Well, yeah, I guess 4 days ago, we should have been having a game today. That's what was the original thought process. And then it got moved back to Monday, which would have been at 4:00, I think, or whatever time, Eastern time. And then we just got the call this morning when I went into football that we're moving it again to next week. So everything got jungled around there. And now we're having our bye week. Essentially, our bye week was all of last week during practice. So that's
how disgusted is your entire team that you just practiced through a bye week in the NFL?
Yeah, a lot of people were pissed this morning. We all came in as we were walking in, as I got swabbed for COVID, and I was walking in, I saw some other guys and they looked like pissed off. I was like, what's going on? I looked at my phone and they said, all right, team meeting's at 8:15 on the field. And I'm like, what? We don't have special teams? What's going on? And then people started talking, and then we saw, I think it was a couple Twitter posts and stuff like that, and they said the game was postponed because they had another positive test, which is just freaking crazy. But it's part of the world we're living in now, I guess, isn't it?
As a player, does it feel, the first couple weeks went smoothly, and then the whole thing happened with the Titans and the Vikings, and it's now kind of been with a couple other teams. Does it feel as a player like the season is almost hanging in a balance, or do you still feel confident in the season going forward?
Well, this is kind of how it went. 'Cause I just listened to our head coach a little bit when Coach Fangio talked about it in the beginning of the season. beginning of the season, he was not confident that it was going to happen. Like he was like, yes, it can happen, but I don't think it's for sure going to happen. And there's still a good possibility that it's going to get canceled. And then, you know, after 3 weeks, we were like, I think it was after 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks. That's before all the Titan stuff happened, which was the first stuff. And he was saying, well, we're still good. I think the season's actually going to happen now. And then right after the Titans stuff happened, everybody started to get a little more cautious with what they were saying. And now it's kind of like, will we finish? Are we going to be able to do it, or are we going to have to push it back into January? Which
right.
It's a possibility. Like, what's going to happen?
Right, because I mean, you already have what, 3 teams or what is it, 4 teams now that have already used up their bye week for like a reschedule of a game. So like, what happens if they have to reschedule another game, or do you guys even know?
I don't know. So this week it happened. We pushed back the Patriots game to next week, and then we pushed back. Miami was supposed to be next week. We pushed them back to week 11, which was week 11. And then we pushed up the Chargers from week 11 to week 8, which is was supposed to be our bye week.
Seems like a whole lot of gymnastics going on.
Yeah, there is a whole lot of gymnastics. You can't do a whole lot more now. I mean,
a whole lot of gymnastics for some shit that doesn't even matter. It's like, oh, a couple of guys got the fucking COVID in the building, and they're just walking around like, yeah, I don't even know I got it, man. I could go to practice right now. Like,
I feel like somebody hid it, actually. I don't know if it was the Patriots guy, that one of the Patriots guys that first got it hid the symptoms, or one of his family members had it and he didn't tell anybody.
Wow.
So
and he's just hoping that he wouldn't test positive.
Yeah, so I think they should be fine, and we should get paid for their unfortunateness on that.
His week's salary should be dispersed.
So question for you, like, what are they telling you guys? Are they basically saying like, hey, you come to the complex and you go home and don't do anything else because we literally just can't have guys test positive, or what?
Yeah, it's literally what we're supposed to do. I mean, you can go out and eat with, I think it's groups under 3 or 4. You can't go to any place that just serves alcohol. You can't go casino. You can't go strip club, they say. Stuff like that. So
that's really affecting your schedule, I bet.
Yeah, really, I know, right? It's hard for me to do this. It's pretty much like you're supposed to stay home. And I mean, I'm an introvert anyway, it seems like. So
Drake will be screwed.
You're an introvert who likes fishing, which is natural social distancing, and you got a new daughter. So I'm sure this is working out just fine for you.
Yeah, it is. And that's, because we're usually in the house a lot, and it's hard to take a 9-month-old out and do stuff with. So, I mean, the only thing we're doing is hiking, which, hey, we might do it today since we don't have a game.
There you go.
We should take Rowan to the strip club.
Wow. I don't know.
This is why Drake should not be around children.
That's what I just said. I think these rules that are being enforced by the coaches, kind of the laws that they're laying down, Drake would have a hard time. He can't go to the strip club. He can't. I mean, I guess Drake does kind of just stay at home as well, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there she is.
You said you didn't want her for content, but we'll get her for content a little bit.
Yeah,
we're not above using children for content.
We're gonna exploit the children. Look how Josey. Oh my God. I mean, come on. For those watching the YouTube version of this, which is like 100 people per episode, look at that baby. Oh my goodness.
So I'm scared of it. I don't know.
Josey.
She's getting big. How big is she now?
Oh, how much do you think she weighs now? 20 pounds maybe? I don't know. What was she for a percentage on height and stuff like that? 82% on her height, so maybe we're gonna have a tall one. I don't know.
We're gonna have a goddamn linebacker in there.
Be a kicker.
Now, what is in the first 9 months of having a child? What is the biggest thing that you've learned as a human, as a father?
In the first 9 months, you're saying?
Yeah.
I don't know if there's really too much of a stuff. I don't know. I don't know. That's a great question.
What's the biggest change in your life? Just everything's about her now?
Yeah. I mean, you used to think it was just about, you and the wife, and you really didn't think, past the next couple of days and stuff like that. But with her, it's like, now you think about your job even more, how you need your job security that much more, how you want to make that much more money. So you hopefully don't have to work later in your life, so you can spend it more with the child. Yeah, I don't know. It makes me kind of focus in on football a little bit more, I think, just because I know the better I do early on, the quicker I can get out.
Well, dude, you realize in college that you didn't leave your room and you just sat on your iPad and took notes for Coach Wallace. So, like, how much more time could you actually devote?
Get your fucking pads down.
I don't know if that was that. Get your pads down, did you say?
Yeah.
I mean, I did it a little bit, but I mean, now we're making money to do it. So I feel like it's just a little bit more stressful. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I can see Rowan's gonna have expensive taste. She's gonna need a lot of shoes, man. Shoes ain't cheap.
Oh God.
I'm not gonna give her. I'm not gonna spoil her now. I don't think. But
what do you mean, dude? She's your first daughter. You're gonna give her everything she could ask for and double it.
I feel like when you go, I feel like when you go on the hike today, you need to make her walk the entire way as well.
That's a good idea. We'll see when the second kid comes out, so we don't spoil the first one too much.
Now, are you gonna
I can see Josey on Rowan's 10th birthday. Here's a no limit credit card. Go wild.
Yeah. Now, are you gonna make like 10 or 12 little Josey and Mix, or are you gonna stop at like 3 or 4, or what's the plan there? Mick, you want to answer that? You want to jump on? And
she left the room now. I think we're at probably. It depends if we have a boy next. If we have a boy next, I'm probably sitting at 2 or 3.
Oh, you just want one of each. Yeah.
I want one of each, or maybe we'll do 3. If it's a girl next, we'll try again for a boy. I think I need a boy, don't I?
I feel like.
Yeah. If you don't have a boy, that'd be a true shame.
Is it a bad thing to say if we don't have a boy for the first 2 or 3 that I'm going to go in and make a boy out of the? Did you guys heard about that?
I think you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
make sex and stuff like that.
Kevin's a doctor, so he could probably talk.
I forgot about that.
He could probably talk about that.
LOL. No, yeah, there's a lot of different genes that it's not exactly editing, but you can like select kind of.
Yeah, it's like gender selection.
Kevin is a geneticist now too.
I don't want to have to do that. I hope we just have a boy. But I heard about one of the other players. I think it was Todd Davis a year and a half or a year ago. He was talking about that because he's had all boys, and he said he was gonna select everything for his next child. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? He's like, yeah, I'm selecting their hair color, their eyes. I'm like, what?
I think in like, yeah, we're like 25, 50 years away from basically being able to make your child look how you want it to look. It's a little weird.
This is actually like somewhat readily available. I was watching a video on it. Like right now you can almost select, like it has to be traits that either you or your wife have.
Obviously, yeah.
Like, you can't like be 2 white people and it's like, I want to make
I want a black child.
But like you can say, okay, I have blue eyes and you have brown eyes, but you have the blue recessive trait, so we can basically make sure our kid has blue eyes or something like that.
Science is pretty wild, huh?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. You can even be close to doing that stuff right now.
So you would say that football before was more of a selfish thing because it was like, oh, I'm just trying to do the best for me. And now you feel a strong sense of like, this is not what I go and do at the complex. And when I go on trips, it's actually a business trip now. It's like a legit,
Yeah. You definitely find it more of a business and it's less like it's still enjoyment, but it's like, you're doing it for a different reason. I mean, you're doing it for the betterment of not just only yourself, but the betterment of 2 other people now. So
right.
it's cool. I mean, it definitely puts a little bit more stress on you, but sometimes that stress is good.
Is it as fun, more fun, less fun in college? I don't know.
What, the NFL in general? Yeah. With a kid?
Just in general, man. Just like football right now, is it more or less fun than football 4 years ago at the University of Iowa?
I don't know, dude. That's tough because, I mean, I think once I get into like my next couple years, it's going to be really fun. But the first couple years, it's just really, there's a lot of stress because you're new to it. I still feel new to the league. I mean, it's year 3. And I guess I didn't really feel at Iowa. It was different because the first 2 years you guys knew I kind of did not like it, especially the first year.
I don't know if any of us enjoyed it a lot.
And I think the first year for everybody in the NFL is kind of similar. I mean, you're kind of enjoying it a little more. You're getting paid for it. But it's somewhat similar as you get more years under your belt, I think it gets more fun. And if you have, the same team members and everybody stays the same, you're going to keep on having more fun because you're going to know more people. But we've been having a little bit of turnover the last 2 years now. So I think it makes it more fun when you have a bunch of friends that stay on the team. And since I've had a bunch of guys that got cut, Bo was on the team for a little bit. That was really fun. Troy Fumagalli, the tight end from Wisconsin. As in the first 2 years, I think college was more fun, but I think as I progress here, it's the NFL is going to get more fun and fun.
Is Von Miller as fun of a teammate as social media portrays him? Because he looks like one of the most fun dudes on the planet.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's wild as hell.
I remember seeing the video on Twitter where he sack tapped. I was like, yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, we talked about me having more kids. I don't even know if that's possible now with the sack tap that he gave me. But he's a funny dude. I mean, a lot of these guys are on IR. I mean, you've been seeing everybody been getting hurt lately. And we have crazy amount of all like our stud players that are on IR. And right now you barely see them. Like they come into the facility when you're not really there, or like when you're practicing, they're in the facility doing stuff like that. So we don't see him a lot. But yeah, he's fun guy.
Yeah, that's weird.
He's on social media.
The protocol, I'm sure, is odd right now between those who are active and those who aren't, just to mitigate, the risk and stuff. Speaking of you doing well and getting your feet wet in the NFL, some would say, and not just us on this podcast, some would say that you had your best game as a linebacker in the NFL about 10 days ago against the Jets up in New York City. I'd love to hear about that. You had 10 tackles, 2 for loss, I believe.
Couple sacks in there somewhere.
Yeah, a couple sacks. Not as many people. I think the biggest stat was not as many people talking shit about you on Twitter.
That's what I correlated to.
I know. That's the only thing you care about. So I'd love to hear about that game.
No, it was a pretty good game. We finally got a win, which was nice for everybody.
Yeah, you guys made me some money as well, so thanks.
Fade the state of New York.
You guys have been fading the state of New York. I've been listening to you guys every time I look. I get in my truck every morning and I look at Spotify and I look for your podcast. And when I don't see one, I'm pretty pissed off because that's usually my good 15-minute drive in. I'll listen to half of it. On the way back, I'll listen to the rest of it, or I'll put in a couple days. But yeah, it was a good game. I was out in man a lot on the running backs and stuff like that. So early on in the game, I didn't have a lot of tackles since I was just guarding outside the box, and they were running inside a little bit, and then they were kind of trying to chunk us here and there.
Dude, tell me what it was like to play against Frank Gore, because he's one of my favorite running backs of all time, just because of how he played and how long he's been playing. He's just been a beast for 18 years or whatever.
He'd literally be our dad.
Like Frank Gore has been playing in the NFL longer than I've been playing tackle football. So I just thought it was insane to watch you tackle Frank Gore.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, he is, what year is it for him? Is it 16?
17 or something?
16 or 17
years for
here's how old he is. His son is debuting as a freshman in college football this year.
Yeah, I think it was cool to tackle him and stuff. We've been playing a bunch of those guys this year. We had Tom Brady. When we played against Gronk. We're still going to play against Drew Brees. Some old dudes that have been doing it well for a while now. But
yeah.
The game was good.
Josey, can you just not wait to be a 40-year-old dude playing linebacker in the league?
I'm definitely not doing that. If I make it to 8 or 9 years playing, I think I'm going to be happy with that.
This is year 3, so you secured the pension this year, right?
Yeah, I think that's right. I had 3 games under my belt.
3 games in each of the last 3 seasons secures the pension. Granted, it's minimum pension. From here on out, it grows a little bit. I think the more you stay. So.
Yeah. That was something in the beginning of football. I was like, people always talk about the pension. That's just my first goal is to get to 3 years.
You've
Josey, think about that 9 or 10 year pension, dude.
I don't know about 9 or 10. That's gonna be tough to get to, Drake. 10 years. Let's hope the body's functioning at the same rate it is right now.
You just gotta. You gotta talk with Tom. You gotta talk with Drew.
Yeah, just pop out a few more kids. They keep you young, right?
I don't know. If they sleep well, yes, like her. If she sleeps well, but if I have another kid that doesn't sleep well, it might age me a couple of years in 1 year.
Now, you so there's this guy some think he's alien from other planets, and his name's Derrick Henry, and you absolutely stuck his ass. Cool, like top 5 football moment for you, sticking Derrick Henry or what?
I mean, it's high up there. Yeah, he was. I mean, we watched all his film from the last year of him just manhandling people, throwing people down.
Well, he's a different species.
I mean, he's massive. Yes, he's quite big. So yeah, it was a big moment, and definitely didn't expect it to feel like that. I mean, when I hit him, I thought I was going to hit something a little bit, I don't know, harder there.
So what you're saying is Derrick Henry's actually soft.
No,
what you're saying is that he can come meet you in the hole any day.
Confirmed. Linebacker Josey Jewell calls Derrick Henry softest running back in the NFL.
I don't think that's quite the thing I'm giving off. I think he was on the wrong foot at the wrong time, and I got him.
You definitely hit him perfectly for the defender's leverage. Yeah.
If he would have had his other foot down, it would have been a little bit different. I mean, I think I still would have tackled him and everything, but it wouldn't have looked as good.
Yeah, it looked clean, man. You got a couple other Hawkeyes in Denver with you, Noah Fant, and now OJ Juice.
OJ had a hell of a game last week too. A couple weeks ago, he had a little bit of a tough one, little rookie welcome to the NFL moment, but he bounced back.
Yeah, both of them have been playing really good. I mean, it's Kinnick West out there. Talk about having those two on the team and seeing those two guys actually do well. Noah's a second year, but he popped off the first couple weeks. I think he got injured a little bit. But OJ is out there freaking starting or getting a bunch of playing time, doing well.
That's a part of it being more fun now is the guys like from Iowa, I get to play with them again. And that's involving people that I used to play with and people that I know. So that's making the NFL also more fun, which we talked about earlier. But yeah, Noah, first of all, Noah's doing amazing. He's killing it. I think he had the most receiving yards out of any tight end for like the first 2 or 3 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, he's on my fantasy team. It's no big deal.
Yeah, and he's been looking for contact lately, which is awesome for him.
Which isn't old Noah Fant. Like he was a speed kind of get away from people guy a little bit. I think he still is. I think that's who he like. That's his style. That suits him best because he's literally a freaking deer.
Yeah.
But if he bulks up and starts to do a little George Kittle, like come at me, I want to run you over. That's dangerous because he's actually strong as hell too.
Yeah.
Now that we're on the alien topic with Noah and Derrick Henry, who's the biggest alien on your team, Josey?
Who's the biggest alien? I don't know. Let's see. I mean, I think Vaughn is just so crazy, just the way he bends and stuff like that. I mean, you've seen the different sacks that he's had where he literally like slides under O linemen's hands, literally goes underneath their waist pretty much. I mean, he's just a crazy specimen of what he can do. So I think he's one of the biggest ones.
He's what Coach Wallace would call a dude, He's a dude.
That's pretty good. That sounded like him. Why isn't he on the podcast lately? You should get him on.
We've
been trying, but he actually has a real job and stuff.
He wants to come on the podcast. He actually offered up to come on the podcast once he's done at Iowa.
Wow. Well, once he's done, yeah, that makes sense.
And I didn't even ask him, and I was like, dude, we would love to have you on. Like that would be the best. And he's like, I'll fucking come on there, man. I'm ready to go. I'll do it. That was back this summer.
You gotta fire him down when he does.
A short sidebar that I think you guys would all enjoy. So my birthday was a couple weeks ago, and I never thought he would reach out maybe ever in my life again. Fucking Coach Reed on Facebook Messenger reached out and goes, I could hear it in his voice. He goes, Kluva, I don't know if you remember me, but it's Coach Reed. Happy birthday, man.
Oh man, old people are funny when like, I don't know if you remember me, like I'm in the same building for you for 3 years.
I was like, Coach, how could I ever forget? Like you pulled me in when we tried to go play pool in the lounge and made me watch linebacker tape. Like I'll never forget that.
He was a fun one.
He freaking reached out and said happy birthday. I thought it was incredible.
Is he still at BC right now?
I don't know.
Does he,
Not sure.
What else? Anything else
Been
exciting
really
happening in the world of Josey Jewell right now? Like what's going on?
No, just getting the juice shop ready. Nick's been working hard at that.
Oh
That's right. Go ahead and plug the juice shop.
Yeah,
What
plug
we
it,
got going
Jose.
back out in Decorah.
43, go follow it on Instagram. Yeah, it should be fun. I think it's going to be a fun little thing that we do, and during the off season, it's going to give us something to do back home and give us a reason to go back home more often.
And let's pre-plug this restaurant that you're going to build that I'm going to invest in.
I don't even what's going to be the name of that one.
I don't know, but we got to go with like Outlaws Steakhouse or something like that.
It's going to be the Benton Boys Steakhouse.
It's going to be right where that old airport hangar is, where my right across from my parents' house. So it's going to be right across the river, pretty much. You're going to have a view of that. I don't know.
So it's smoothies, is it like acai bowls and just some fresh fruit stuff, or what else?
It's going to be the smoothies, acai bowls, and then it's also going to be juices that we pre-press before in bottles and stuff like that. Or you can probably get them ready to made, just depending on the day. But we're still kind of working through all that. We've been making all the ingredients, or we've been making all the actual smoothies and stuff and acai bowls the last couple of weeks, and it's been fun.
Now you did ask the group for some name suggestions, and I was honestly heartbroken that my name suggestion was not chosen.
I don't even think we need to talk about that right now. I think your name suggestion was so bad. I don't even think it's worth giving time to.
I'm glad that mine was my suggestion.
What was it?
My suggestion was the one that you guys came closest to. It was Juicery 43, and it ended up being Route 43 Juicery, right?
Yeah. Well, the crazy thing about the 43 is, it's the college number stuff, but it's also Decorah is in the intersection of Highway 52 and Highway 9, which was kind of crazy. You just subtract those and you get 43, huh?
That's pretty great. Like where is it located for anybody local? Where is it located in Decorah or around that area?
Yeah. So we'll be opening up hopefully early February of this coming year. And it's right now it's like a marketplace area. So in Decorah, it has ice cream shop. It has,
it's in a bigger building with a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah. With a deli and then a restaurant and then a coffee shop also in there. Nice. So it'll be a bunch of different stuff, and it's right by Pulver Rock Brewery. And then the campground's a little bit away from that. And it's also from Luther, but it's called The Landing in Decorah.
So
a lot of good things happening with that, though.
This is a manifestation of the entrepreneurial side of Josey Jewell, which has been a thing that has always been a part of you all the way back to outlaw farming and the herdmaster.
I wish that would have gone better.
A college project that 3 out of the 4 of us, Drake was not involved, but 3 out of the 4 of us on this podcast were heavily involved with for summer. Yes, Rowan, we're millionaires.
We almost made money like your dad, Rowan, but we all failed.
We would have made a lot more money on that than I'm making right now. I'm going to tell you that much. I mean, we were what?
Me and Clue still own 20% of it, right, Clue?
Still got 20%, and I still have that paper somewhere, I'm pretty sure.
You probably do. I wouldn't be surprised, but unfortunately that company has been dissolved.
That is unfortunate. I will say this. I agree with you. If we would have figured out a way to really take off with the herdmaster, your NFL money wouldn't be shit compared to what we'd be making in the farming industry.
Yeah, there was a good market for it. I mean, the patent was taken right before our eyes. What was it, 2 or 3 months before we could have taken it? It was patented. Yeah. So if we would have been able to, if I would have got a head start on that a little bit better, I think we would have been able to either sell the patent or actually make a business.
Dude, if you guys would have made the herdmaster and made millions of dollars and just been a huge agricultural company, I would have just been the friend with the OnlyFans page showing off his ass in all your money, just making it rain.
I think Kevin's confused with
where does that fit into the company model? What?
Yeah.
No, I'm just taking advantage of all the luxuries that you guys created through the company. And why
does that mean you have to show your ass on OnlyFans? I'm not,
because I feel like that's what That's what the youth are doing these days. They're taking advantage of other people's money and they're shaking their ass. So that would be me.
No. They do that to get money, not to.
Oh God.
But you know, the nice house and all the cash, that would make for some very good video.
Oh dear.
We can change the subject. I mean, we can talk about the girl that's making $50,000 a month. Did you guys see that in Barstool?
What's that?
With her OnlyFans?
Yeah.
Barstool, yeah. They just posted something, was it yesterday or something like that? The girl's making $50,000 a month on OnlyFans.
There's multiple, and we had this conversation the other day. It's really where our society has come to. Gen Z, I believe, which we're almost a part of. We are the last of the millennials, which I think we get a bad rap, which is bullshit. I think it's Gen Z that's really the fuck boys around here. They have no morals.
You know, I feel good about when we grew up. I feel like we were like the last group of kids to have a normal childhood where we went and played outside and shit.
I agree.
That's fair to say.
But I think we still have a lot of our generation calling hims, hers, and things like that.
What?
You know, Kevin's saying that Gen Z is where it all fell apart.
Oh.
But I still think some of the millennial generation is calling hims, hers, and things like that.
Yeah, I think, I mean, there was definitely a leak across generations. I mean, obviously it's not black and white 100%, but it just seems like there's several things that are like pop culture based that just are so Gen Z, and it's like almost like, oh God, this is where our world is going. But also it may just speak to us getting older, because I'm sure let's see.
Every generation has said that about the generation behind them.
After it, yeah, exactly. And every generation talks about the generation before it being boomers, and you know, it's like, okay, you're old, and you know, everybody feels like they're right and everyone else is wrong. So it's kind of a bias. Yeah, I mean,
TikTok is destroying America.
Yeah, and that being said, I watch 30 minutes to an hour of TikTok every day. I'm addicted.
Hey, is that still going to get banned, or has that been bought by an American company
now? Oracle tried to purchase it.
Yeah, that deal seems like it's kind of falling through though, so I don't know what the deal is.
I was about to buy some Oracle stock if that was about to happen, but didn't happen. Josey, I'm in the stock market now. By the way, I'm basically a trader now.
Day trader.
What's your heavy investment? Was it Tesla last week, right?
We just hammered Tesla, dude. I put my entire 401k in Tesla.
I don't know. That's a good idea.
Well, I already did it.
No, Drake, he did not. None of us are financial advisors. Bet responsibly. We're about to get to some college lines that I was horrible yesterday, first of all. But don't listen to us on any of this. But yeah, we did kind of hype up Tesla. It did have a couple good days last week, and I think it's actually in store for another good run here. But
yeah, I just saw some analysts bump the price up to 500 now. Oof.
Yeah,
I think it's around 420 or something right now.
It's just a super volatile stock. It's weird. But yeah, Josey, you were always into kind of with your entrepreneur shit. You and Ike were always like into gold. You had like a couple $100 in gold in college.
Did you sell the gold when it was at its height?
I sold.
I think it hit like 2,100 at some point.
Yeah, it's been a lot. I think it was like like 7 to 10 years ago. I don't know when it was exactly, but there was a huge spike in gold. And then we saw that in the past history, and that's when Ike wanted to invest in it because he thought it could go up. I sold some. I think I made like a couple $100 on it, and now I'm still in it. I still have I think it's like 3 maybe of it, and I've lost like $300 on it. So I'm probably even on gold lately, but I'm still holding in case it gets up to that crazy price of stock.
There you go. Anything else for Joe's? Any other things that we haven't touched? I mean, we could go for hours, I know, but so I guess today
you get college football, Joe's.
Yeah.
Did I watch any?
Have you been watching any, or are you staying busy with?
Well, yesterday we were a little busy doing stuff with football and everything, but I watched a little bit. I'm trying to think of the games that I watched. I think I saw some of your guys' the ones that you guys said the over on. Was it the Texas Oklahoma?
Yeah, Kevin hit that one. You can definitely stick around. If you have to go, you can go. But the two picks I had yesterday were god awful. I woke up and I did hedge my own bets because I woke up yesterday and I had two games when I looked at the schedule that I thought, I'm a dumbass. These are guaranteed, and I should have put these as my two picks and not the ones I gave. I woke up yesterday morning and thought, well, Clemson's going to run Miami, so I'm going to bet that one. And then I saw my wife, actually, Lauren, chose this one. It was the easiest over of the day. Georgia, Tennessee over was 43 points. It was like, I don't know who set the line, but it was like a 60-some point game, upwards of 70. And we bet that.
SEC's
it's becoming the Big 12.
They're a little more high power offense, a little defensive suspect these days. You watched the Alabama Ole Miss game last night?
Well, guess what?
I had the Alabama Ole Miss under because it was at 72 or something like that.
Guess what? One of my two.
You only missed by 40 points. It's okay.
Yeah, one of my two picks that I gave the pod was the Alabama Ole Miss under. I was like, there's no way 72 points. Alabama's gonna lock down D. Nope. 111 points, bro. So sorry, everyone on the podcast. I gave you that pick. The other pick I gave the podcast was the Kansas State TCU over, and they couldn't score to save their ass. That was a 50-point line, and they're in the Big 12. And I thought, you know what, that's easy. And they missed by like 13.
It was like 21-7 or something.
It was 21-14. There was 35 points scored. So I missed by 15 there. I missed by 40 in the other game. I'm 0 for 2 in college football. And I need a big day in the NFL today.
I think I'm emptying the account on Carolina getting points today.
Emptying the account.
They got Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And last we checked, it was like a 2-point spread, I think.
Yeah, it was close. I remember.
Like Atlanta -2. This is how we have fun with the NFL, Josey, because you get to play, we just get to bet.
Yeah, who's New York playing? I'm probably gonna leave here, but I just
Arizona -7 against the.
I would hit that one all day.
We're hitting it, dude. We already had it on the podcast. We hammered it already.
All right.
I'm on it, baby. Let's go.
There you go.
But I appreciate this, guys.
Thank you, Josey, for joining. We wish you the best of luck going forward this season. We'll have you on again in the off season for a long episode. And Rowan, thank you for joining as well.
Good catching up with y'all.
Yeah, see you, man.
See you, Bob.
Freaking Josey Jewell, everybody. Yeah, so I'm sorry to all those who tailed us. I feel bad.
I told you guys that I'm not any good at college football aside from the Big Ten. Kevin's our Big Ten expert. I'm reasonably good at the Big Ten, killing the NFL so far. So if I have another 3 for 3 week this week, call me Nostradamus of the NFL fucking spreads this year, because that will be damn near 90%.
Okay.
I've been busy, man. I haven't been able to take good hard looks. I actually did have some time yesterday morning. I put in a 6-team teaser that went 5 for 6 in Florida. All I had to do was win, and they lost on the last second field goal.
I had a 9-team parlay that lost because LSU couldn't win the game. LSU was favored by 2.
LSU is not good this year, boys.
No,
dude, look at everybody they lost though. That's literally
I know. You figure like a team like that could just reload, but they are putting bad football on the field right now.
The SEC has not impressed me so far this year, not at all. And the Big 12 definitely hasn't impressed me. They basically look like the same conference. I am so excited.
This isn't surprising, we pretty much expected that we're going to get sloppy football.
Yeah, I know. We knew it was going to happen. It shouldn't be surprising, but it's still interesting to see. Speaking of Big Ten football, we're close. As you listen to this on Monday, we're 12 days away from Iowa Hawkeye football. They're going to be in West Lafayette playing the Boilermakers. As of Hawkeye news, we had an official depth chart come out last week. We're going to go over that real quickly before we finish this podcast and go watch some NFL for the rest of the day. The depth chart, guys, we've got one. Not a lot of.
There's a couple surprising things on there.
What are your surprises?
Kellenberger over Kronk at tackle, offensive line. I was really surprised by that.
Yeah, so let me go over your starting offense. Obviously, Spencer Petras is QB1. He's the gunslinger, with Alex Padilla backing him up. And I actually listened to Coach Ferentz's press conference, and he said that Alex Padilla, who is a redshirt freshman, excuse me, has actually shown a lot of progress and a lot of promise. So that's great, that we may have more depth at QB than initially thought. Running back is going to be T Good, and then Makai is listed behind him, and Ivory Kelly Martin. They're all like, it's so funny. They're 5'10", 5'9", 5'10", 200, 209, 204. Like, it's just these little put together guys. They all have a little bit of a different style, but I feel really good about those three. Like, that's a really good committee.
I'm going to miss Torrin this year being the bruiser, but yeah,
we don't have like a true LaShawn or Torrin bruiser this year, but we've got a lot of speed.
Oh yeah, there's talent there for sure.
At fullback, really the most important position on the entire football team, we have Monty Potabom, all name team, and Turner Palisard. The inside info on this one is from Brady Ross, is that he thinks that they're both going to be better than he was.
Which is ludicrous. Brady Ross doesn't quite understand how unbelievable it is that he moved some of the dudes that he moved. Like, the guy was way better than he gave himself credit for when it came to moving linebackers out of the way.
Brady was definitely he's a very humble guy when it came to talking about his own play. If Potabom or Palisard, either of them can be, they are literal wrecking balls. 6'1", 245, 6 foot, 248. I mean, we're rocking a couple Adam Coxies around in there.
I'm just curious, how much fullback do you think we're going to see this year, Drake?
I think less. I think a lot less.
Listen, man, I think that if Brady was right about he said one of the two was a really good athlete.
I think Potabom, yeah.
So all I got to say is, if the kid's a great athlete, they need to get him in space, because we all know that the best playmaker on the whole goddamn field puts his hand down in the backfield.
And that's up for debate. QB, running back, fullback, kicker obviously is Keith Duncan and Caleb Shudak. Those are the two kickers. At wide receiver, we have 2 spots listed. Really, there's kind of three starters in that position. We've got Brandon Smith and Amir Smith-Marset as the 2 starters there. Behind Brandon Smith is listed Tyrone Tracy. Behind ISM is Nico Reganey. Those 4 are the 4 that everyone expected. Those are the 4 that everybody had been talking about. And then we have this guy.
Fucking dudes.
Yeah, we got some dudes at receiver now. All right, we got some dudes, which isn't your everyday thing. Sam Laporta headlines the tight end position with Sean Byer as the number 2. And then the offensive line from left to right goes Alaric Jackson, Cody Ince, Tyler Linderbaum, Kyler Schott, and then Mark Kallenberger. And as Kevin mentioned, Coy Cronk, the Indiana transfer, sits behind Mark Kallenberger at right tackle. That is surprising. Mark has obviously played in the system the last couple of years. Coy, though, has Big Ten experience as well, and is a little bit bigger than Mark. Coy is 6'5", 305, and he is a senior. You got to imagine that, every year people get dinged up. Coy Cronk is going to get worked in somewhere. He's going to play.
Correct me if I'm wrong. He broke his leg last year.
I believe he was, when he transferred in, he was coming off of an injury. Yeah. So,
dude, it's tough to come back from that. Leg does not work right after you break it. And I can tell you from firsthand experience.
Yeah. If you use striker projects, it usually works a little better.
Yeah. If you have striker material inside of you, you're almost like Iron Man, I hear. Shameless plug. On the defense, starting up front, from left to right, Chauncey Golston, who I'm so excited to watch Chauncey. He's going to destroy people. I really think so. He's also, the thing that Chauncey's so good at is he always gets his hand up when it's pass. and he deflects a lot of balls. Like he's
Dude,
so long.
You've seen those arms?
He's a
Like
skyscraper.
his hands are like hanging down by his knees, dude.
It's insane. It's insane. He's backed up by Logan Lee, who is a redshirt freshman, 6'5", 267. Davian Nixon, left tackle, 6'3", 305, backed up by Jack Heflin, who is one of the transfers in from Northern Illinois, I believe. He is 6'4", 312, and he's a senior. I expect to see, you've seen it in the past few years, the D-line at Iowa has really become a rotating.
Yeah. I mean, you have to. It's such a tiring position.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, it's literally a motor. I mean, it's you have to throw.
You're literally pushing prowlers all game long is what you're doing.
Yeah, it's puke. So Heflin, Logan Lee, all these number twos are going to see a lot of time because you're going to see people in and out of the game. At right tackle, Austin Schulte, just a guy. Austin Schulte's just
Austin, man.
Dude, he has like grinded it out and really just had a career there. Like he was always a guy who,
from the offensive line to a starting defensive tackle. That's a pretty cool college football story.
And just always was quiet, kept his head down, was a good worker. I'm happy for him.
He's a senior now.
He is a senior. And he's backed up by sophomore from Dowling, John Wagner, who I think is,
just from watching that kid work out as a freshman when I was an intern, that dude, he can be a dude.
Yeah, he's gonna be a dude. It says that Wagner is at 6'5", 271 right now. So I mean he's an athlete too. I remember watching some of his high school film. He's going to be good as hell. And he's only a sophomore. So we got 3 years of John Wagner left. And then on the right end, we have Zach Van Valkenburg, who is a senior, 6'4", 270, backed up by 6'2", 248 Joe Evans from Ames, Iowa, who had a couple nice plays last year. I think what you have in our D-line is a D-line who is just scrappy. Like they are going to get after it. I feel like Joe Evans is a Nate Meyer type, who he's a little bit undersized, but he's got a motor and he's got technique. You've got 8 guys there who I feel really confident about, and it always starts up front. Jaimin Colbert decided to forgo the season, opt out. So our linebackers right now are at the Leo/Cash position. Barrington Wade backed up by Dane Belton. We have Jack.
We'll see Barrington versus the Wisconsins of the world, and then we'll probably see Dane Belton versus all the spread teams.
Yeah, it's going to be, you're right. It's going to matter who we're playing. At middle linebacker, we have the wash-up walk-ons preseason All-American, Jack Campbell. Speaks for itself. He's 6'5", 243. And I heard he runs a 3.5 40. So there you go. And then maybe the most experienced defender we have out there is Nick Neiman at the will linebacker position. He is the face to Ben Neiman's head. And I feel really solid with him out there on the edge. Justin Jacobs backs up him at 6'4", 235 as a redshirt freshman. Big old young kid. At left corner, we have Matt Hankins, who, he actually rivals Neiman for the experience factor. Hankins,
he's been playing since a true freshman.
Yeah, Hankins has a ton of experience on both special teams and on the defense, backed up by Julius Brents. At strong safety, we have Dane Belton. Wait, is it Dane Belton's listed as backup?
Yeah,
Cash?
so this is what's going to happen is that
okay.
When we're in the cash personnel, which is our base defense with an extra DB,
right?
Usually is our outside linebacker. I'm guessing Dane's going to play that position, and then we'll have another DB play the strong safety.
All right. So strong safety Dane Belton, backed up by Sebastian Castro. What a name! I love that. Kerner is at free safety, backed up by Kayvon Merriweather. And then at right corner, Riley Moss, backed up by sophomore Terry Roberts.
There's some surprises for me on that defense.
Yeah, interesting to get Moss get the nod over Julius Brents.
Interesting Kayvon Merriweather being a backup.
I feel like Kayvon will be that 5th DB.
Yeah, we'll see. But he's still got him listed as strong safety or free safety.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I imagine he would be sliding over to strong safety and having Dane play the cash, but I'm sure Phil Parker knows what he's doing.
I was just gonna say we've got Phil at the helm, and he generally knows what he's doing. So I trust. Big trust.
Yeah, and
I think we're giving Phil too much credit. He only calls like 2 plays. We always see Wallace just tap the top of his head and throw up 1 finger, tap the top of his head and throw up 2 fingers. He's only calling 2 damn plays.
All right,
fucking
Drake,
players are making plays.
All right, Drake. Then how come the offense could never do anything in practice then?
Yeah, man, I don't know. We knew what defense you were. You know why? Because Phil's greasy, and he also knew what plays we were gonna run. So he would dial up the beaters to every one of our plays.
Phil Parker had that offensive script.
But seriously, I mean, the Iowa defense doesn't fool anybody. They just beat everybody. That's as simple as that.
I was gonna say
somehow we played base defense 70% of the time.
Well, I mean, Phil Parker somehow he has the offensive script to like a lot of teams.
He really does.
You just play base defense and you play your rules. It's just, you play one good disciplined defense and you're a tough team to beat.
What's really exciting to me is what Phil Parker has done. It's not a outside chance that Micah Hyde, Desmond King, Josh Jackson, Geno Stone. Every couple years, we have an All-American type for the past decade. So don't be surprised if you've just got somebody in the secondary this year that is just murdering it. That's just coming out of nowhere and just like, why are we doing this well? Because that's just what happens. The punter from down under, Torrey Taylor, 6'4", 225. The word on the street, and this is actually from direct source.
Kind of a unit, dude. 6'4", 225.
Absolute unit. And not only is he hitting bombs in practice right now, I guess, but all 3 punters have been hitting consistent 50 to 55 yards as an average through camp. So, and obviously that kind of decreases and gets a lot harder to do as it gets colder, just the way it is. But that is insanity. And that is what we're looking for, boys. So I'm excited about the punting position as well. It says Max Cooper is going to be doing punt returns. Kick returns is Amir Smith-Marset. And the most exciting position on the field, long snapper, is going to be Austin Spiewak, who is a 5th-year senior, finally getting a shot. Happy about that.
I want you to know that you just told everybody listening to this podcast that Spiewak is the most electric player.
The most electric player in this entire roster. You're correct. He's gonna be doing big things all season.
I'm signing off.
Shout out to the Spee.